When you take a look at where we are relative to the rest of the world, obviously we all recognize China is rising. This administration refuses to call China an adversary. They continue to call it a competitor, which is, of course, against what we've seen in terms of the evidence from Communist China, a spy balloon traveling the country, sending military secrets back in real time, TikTok, trying to be the power broker across the world, and in effect partnering with Russia on its war against Ukraine.
Right. Well, this administration is way too soft on Communist China. So is the entire Democratic Party. China has, in essence, declared a Cold War on the United States. President Xi has been talking very aggressively on Taiwan. And we've been talking about automotive sales in this segment. Just wait and see what happens to automotive sales when China is invading Taiwan and we can't get semiconductor chips. But we've got to take a real look at China and make sure that we're combating them, not just in terms of the military and making sure our allies in the Pacific are prepared for an aggressive China. We also have to look at what they're doing culturally with TikTok, with the Confucius Institutes they have on college campuses, with these secret police stations they have here in the United States to make sure that they're cracking down on China expatriates here in the U.S. It's a big problem. I wish the Democrats realized it. I wish Joe Biden realized it, because we've got to take immediate steps.
Well, I don't understand why the Democrats would not realize this. I mean, they have access to more information than the rest of us, and the rest of us recognize what's happening in terms of China and its efforts to overtake the United States as the #1 superpower. I mean, you just mentioned all of that, and yet the climate agenda is sending all of that production to China, perhaps making us even more reliant on Communist China. Congressman.
Right. Well, it's making us much more reliant, especially when you look at the fact that Green New Deal elements that Democrats are trying to pass, which, by the way, we rescinded yesterday in the Limit Save Grow Act. But the solar panels, the windmills, they rely on critical minerals that China has a virtual monopoly on in terms of processing and mining. So it's making us more reliant on Communist China, while at the same time China continues to increase their CO2 emissions. They're bringing on 1 or 2 coal-fired power plants every week, Maria. So our energy grid gets more fragile. Our energy gets more expensive. China's gets less and less as they have more energy abundance through, again, coal-fired power plants. That's going to make everything more expensive. Consumer goods, anything involving petrochemicals. It's going to make transportation costs, of course, more expensive. So we get weaker as China gets stronger. The Democrats need to realize that.
Well,